Hi, I'm Liz Larson with The Art of Frosting. Today I want to show you how to make this pretty little Mother's Day hat. It's a floppy garden hat with some flowers, perfect for the mom who's a gardener or just the gardener in your life if it's not Mother's Day. So we're going over a lot of the flowers that we did previously this month. So Ranunculus and Peonies. I'm also going to do some tulips, which we've done before too. I will link all the videos that show exactly how to make those flowers in the description section below and as well at the end. You can click right through and watch those videos. So this is going to be fun. Let's get started. So often you guys ask me the question, what specifically did I use for tips? Well, a better question is, what can you use for tips? So these are some of the things that I used while trying out this design. First, you're going to need some marshmallows and or some cake pop balls, some little ones about 1 inch wide and smaller. You can use either or of these. I'm using my wooden skewers. These are not dirty. They are worn well with food coloring. I like them seasoned. And I'm using a number 124, a number 127 rose tips, a number 104. We're probably going to use a number 4 writing tip. You can use any size leaf tip that you want. And I'm also going to reuse this one that we have used quite a bit recently. It's a number 402. It's a very large mum tip. So any combination of these will work. And you can see I've also got a coupler here. You're going to need a good pair of scissors. And that's about it. So we're starting our hat cake with just an 8-inch round and a 4-inch round on top. Now I haven't leveled these. Normally I'm such a stickler about leveling, but I'm actually going to use the cake's natural slight unlevelness to my advantage. So I've got the cake over to one side of my platter. So you can see my platter's here and I'm actually offset. I want to leave space for my flowers here. I also let a little bit of a higher side be on the side that I want my hat to flip up and the lower side to be down. So if your cake doesn't naturally turn out this way, it's okay. You can shave it down if you want, or you can just leave it as it is. I've also taken the 4 and just let the natural dome be on the top. No need to create work for yourself. If there's not a natural dome, just shave down your edges slightly. So it's just sitting right here in the center, and I've crumized my base. I want my hat to be just a creamy yellow, kind of a neutral. So I'm just going to start with my quick icer and do a quick ice. Next I'm going to use Leah's Ziploc bag trick. I've just cut the edge of a Ziploc bag and I'm just going to smooth out the top. A bowl of icing nearby so you can wipe off the excess. And you just want to gently dome the top. Now I'm actually going to use a comb. I don't know if you've seen me use these before. These are really inexpensive. You can get them in the drywall section of your hardware store or also at kitchen stores. I'm just going to use the comb to create a little serrated look around the hat, just for a little texture. Wipe off your edge and then come around and just do the same around the top. We're going to start from the outside and we're going to swirl in. You know how you see the top of a hat that will have the braid end in the middle? That's exactly what we're going to do. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to sculpt our hat. Now, we want our hat to flare on this side and to go down on the bottom. Bring my quick icer around and I'm going to start to build my edge here. So you can see I'm building up on this side. And we're going to sculpt with icing. So now that that's built up, I'm going to switch hands here so you can see. I want to ease this down over like so, building my brim and coming all the way around the back. And you can see that it starts to drape over the side, and that is perfect. We're going to continue around and build out that edge just a little. This is how it goes. We're just going to continue to build out layer by layer till we have just the shape that we want. Now this hat could be ruffled if you want as well, which I think would be really cute. So our last bit is that we want to come along this back edge, the place where it's going to flip up, and we want to add our last band so that we have a nice smooth edge there, and just blend it down in. We're going to come in with our handy dandy piece of Ziploc bag, and we're going to start to smooth this out and just get our shape. Now this will take a little bit of time. Shouldn't take too much. It's good to have some stiff icing, but we're basically just going to sculpt the shape of our hat. Now, the nice thing about this is it's just built up icing. If it doesn't look the way that you want, you can really just break it back down and start over. You haven't really ruined anything. So we just want to sculpt until we get the shape that we want. As your hat starts to take shape, you want to just gently come around the edges to smooth them underneath. And on this back side, you can push this icing as you want it to make it taller or shorter. And also you want to come around as you blend the upside to the down and just gently make sure that that blends. Now remember, this is meant to be kind of a floppy gardener's hat, so it does not need to be perfect, but you want to smooth it as nicely as you can. But don't overwork it. You could spend all day doing this. Remember, it's just going to be a floppy gardener's hat. Now, you can come back in with your comb if you want, and I'm just going to do it on the underside here, just to give the underside a little bit of texture. But you can leave it alone, or you can texture it. Now, one real trick here is if you're using buttercream, you can put this in a fridge for an hour or so. It really will stiffen up, but it also gets a nice crust on it. If you're using pastry pride like I'm using this time, this also will stiffen up. So it's a good place to kind of take a break, put it aside for a little bit. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer and then just get prepped for your flower. So now I want to take a number 127 filled with a brighter pink, and I want to make a hat band. I'm going to bring my tip in close here where my flower is going to start. I've got the fat side down, and I want to have real even pressure and hold it close to my hat, moving fairly quickly. If you decided that you didn't want to put a flower here, you could put a big bow. I'm actually going to make it look like I have a bow underneath, and I'm going to have two dangly ribbons coming down. Next thing I want is just another layer of detail, and I am going to add polka dots to my little ribbon. So I just have a parchment here that I've cut the tip off, about the size of a number 4 writer. While I have this bag, and just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and cut the tip off just a little bit larger. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bead of white icing. So straight shell of icing around the bottom edge. And I don't anticipate any of this bottom edge showing, but in case it does, we don't want a raw edge. So I want to start with bright red tulips. I've got a number 402 mum tip, or use any size mum tip you have. And I've already painted the outside of the bag, which means I've basically just taken some color and scrubbed it around the inside of the bag. That's a trick for getting bright red, because it's so hard to mix. Then I'm going to stick my white down in there, and I'm going to mix inside the bag some more red food coloring in. Now I want these tulips to be a little bit stripy, because you guys know I love that. Got a parchment here mixed with some green and some yellow. And the first thing I want to do is decide where I want my tulips. And I want them to come out the farthest, and I want them to come out right to the edge. So I'm going to pipe my green, just a strip out to here, one out to here, and one out to here. So you can get an idea of where I want them to be. I also want another tulip, just a single one, to come out the side like this. So I also want to put a nice big ball here at the base of my tulip. So that's my preparation. Now I'm going to let these tulips hang off the side a little bit. Now if you haven't seen our tulip video, please go ahead and watch that. I will link it and also put it in the description section, but I'm going to start with just a petal on the bottom here. Pull it out. I've got a quarter piece of a marshmallow. I'm just going to stick it right in there. That's going to give me my opening. Before I finish, I'm actually going to pull out some black stamen. I've just got a bag filled with a little bit of black. I use my same trick of painting the outside of the bag, so I'm going to pull out about 5 black stamen. I don't want to pretty much cover the end, and then just come back up the side with another petal. Flick of the wrist. Real sharp release at the end so you can get that sharp edge, and back up the other side. And I like to use the same color. You know, you like to finish those flowers first, get them interspersed, and then add the next grouping of flowers. It just saves some time. You can see I've got one of my ranunculus that has a yellow center and one that doesn't. Make sure you see that video, the ranuncula video. It is just about making those flowers and all the different types. There's no time to show you how to do all the flowers here, so I've made a video for each flower. And you can make clumps of color, which is pretty, or you can disperse the colors all out. I'm going to make little clumps of color. I think with the ranunculus, they're so pretty placed together. I also want to place some of my unopened flowers too. And I'm going to place this right on top of my tulips here. Don't be afraid to stack like that. Just be careful to leave a little bit of the stem showing. I've got my number 402 Mom here, and I'm going to make some little stylized poppies. So I'm just going to squeeze and release and double those up. You can just get right up under. And I just took the end off of my bag with my yellow and have just the tip here. Just going to go right in and create just a little ball. And then take my black little writer and add in some little black poppy seeds. Another little way to make poppies. I've got one here and one here just to fill in. So it's great to use what you have. So we're making our giant peony, and this one is going to be kind of closed in the center. So I'm kind of using a wrapped over where the petals are fairly straight at this point, and just moving in, and then I will start to flare just slightly and just a little bit of a ruffle. Now you have to make sure that you alternate your angles for a peony so that you don't end up with a pinwheel. That's kind of a hallmark of a peony, is that the petals kind of go every which way. Also, I've color striped this peony, so it's bright pink and pale pink. Much larger outer petals. So the outer petals wrap up and over when this is closed, so that's why you have much larger outer petals. And I've left myself lots of space on the ball and very, very gently come in and place it here. Now I'm going to hold it up with my skewer, get in under there, and put a pad for it to rest on. Now if you'll notice, some of my flowers are angling this way and some that. I really wanted them to look very tucked in, very random, and I think we achieved that. So the last thing we need to do is add some leaves. I almost forgot I wanted to put a flower on the hat. So I've made one more orange ranuncula, and I'm going to stick it right here where my little ribbons come together. I'm just replacing my 104 tip with a number 70 leaf tip. So I've reused my green stem bag, my yellow ranuncula bag, and just added another tip. I ended up with a very soft pale green, and I'm just going to come in with my number 70, squeeze and zigzag to make nice big leaves. Come back in behind, squeeze, let it build, zigzag, and pull to release. And that's what I want to do all around my cake. I'm going to use my leaves to fill in, as well as to break up the color a little bit, the intense color. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really did. This was a lot of fun to make. I think it's a sweet little design. Now I want to say to you pros out there, those who are working in a commercial kitchen and making cakes all the time, once you do this 1 or 2 times, you will have it down. It actually is a very quick cake. For you beginners and those who just do cakes occasionally, this one's going to take you a little bit of time, but it's worth trying out. It's a lot of fun. And you can use any flower that you know here. We just happen to use the Ranunculus and Peonies that were requested. So I just think this is a really fun summer design. Anyway, you guys can find me at Facebook at The Art of Frosting. So many of you are sharing your amazing work there, and I hope if you're not doing that, you will join us. Also, we're offering a challenge this month. It's for a dogwood cake. If you go to Facebook, find the picture of the cake with the dogwood, you'll see the instructions there. It's a chance to win one of my pieces of jewelry. So that challenge ends May 1st. You have to have the picture of your design in by May 1st. You can also find me now on Etsy, E-T-S-Y, Etsy, with Woodshop TV. So if you want to look up for me there, look at Woodshop TV. I'm there with our sister station, the Woodshop TV, and Carl Jacobson, where you can find some of my jewelry, finally, and a lot of amazing artwork from Carl. You can also find me at www.theartoffrosting.blogspot.com, where you can find a whole body of my work, and you can search the name of the thing you're looking for. It'll come right up there. So thanks for watching, guys. I can't wait to see what you do with this design. Keep looking for more videos, and we'll see you all again soon.